You work, you grind, you pay the bills, but have you ever just stopped and asked yourself, is my job pulling me closer to Jannat, or walking me, nice and slow, into Jahannam? And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff, like dealing drugs or running a casino. No, I'm talking about the jobs everybody claps for. The ones your parents brag about at family gatherings. The ones with neat desks, clean uniforms, and nice-sounding titles on LinkedIn. That's the game. Shaytan's smart. He's not trying to make you throw your prayer mat in the trash tomorrow. He's trying to keep you somewhere that chips at your deen, little by little, until one day, you can't even remember when you stopped caring. Maybe it's the just one time you bent the rules. The, it's not my decision, I'm just doing my job. The, everybody here does it. He loves that. He eats that for breakfast. Allah straight up told us in the Quran, do not cooperate in sin and aggression. But Shaytan, he'll dress that sin up in a company logo, give you a team lunch, and pat you on the back with a promotion. And you'll think, it's just work, right? So, let's talk. Let's be real about the jobs that look fine on the outside, but have Shaytan sitting in the corner office. We'll start with one that's everywhere, that so many Muslims don't even blink at anymore, even though Allah literally declared war on it. Number 1, the interest machine. You know how some jobs sound fancy, safe, respectable, banking, finance, loan officer, mortgage consultant, credit card rep. Sounds legit, right? Until you remember, this isn't just numbers and paper. This is Riba. And Allah didn't just warn about Riba. He declared war against it, not strongly discouraged it, not be careful. War. Then be informed of a war from Allah and His Messenger. That's the only sin in the Quran with that wording. Think about that for a second. A war you can't win. And yet, how many of us sit at desks every day pushing loans we know will drown people in debt? How many customer service calls are just convincing someone to take a credit card they can't afford? How many emails go out promoting buy now, pay later schemes dressed up like financial freedom? Here's what most people don't want to face. The Prophet ﷺ cursed the one who takes riba, the one who gives it, the one who records it, and the two who witness it. He said they're all the same in sin, meaning even if you're just doing paperwork or just processing the contract, you're on the list. I've seen brothers say, it's not me, I'm just the middleman. But that's exactly it. The system can't run without the middlemen. Shaytan loves that excuse because it keeps you in the chair, doing the job, cashing the check, and ignoring the damage. And if you've ever seen someone crushed under debt, you know it's not just numbers. It's families breaking. It's people skipping meals. It's mental health falling apart. And you, with your neat desk and polite smile, might be part of that chain. I'm not saying this to throw stones. I'm saying it because Allah's war isn't worth any paycheck. And the scariest part? Once your risk comes from riba long enough, you stop even feeling that it's wrong. That numbness? That's when Shaytan has you exactly where he wants you. Number 2, selling illusions. Ever notice how ads never show the truth? The burger is dripping perfectly, but you know it never looks like that in real life. The perfume commercial makes it seem like one spray will solve your loneliness. That influencer review is basically a paid script. And behind all of that, real people in real jobs making a living off making falsehood look pretty. You might think, it's just marketing. That's how the game works. Yeah, and that's why Shaytan loves it. Because it's not just about selling a product. It's about shaping desires, convincing people they're incomplete until they buy, beautifying things that Allah calls ugly, hiding the harm, hyping the fake. The Quran says clearly, do not mix the truth with falsehood or conceal the truth while you know it. But this industry thrives on mixing. A little truth, a lot of spin. I've seen brothers editing photos to make models look like porcelain dolls, then going home to pray Isha like nothing happened. I've seen sisters managing ad campaigns for brands that sell shamelessness, telling themselves, it's just a job, I'm not the one wearing it. But if your work makes someone else desire haram, you're part of the chain. And it's not just fashion or beauty, it's everything. Fake, limited time, deals that never end. Insurance policies dressed up as protection, but designed to deny payouts. Political PR teams twisting words until lies feel comforting. The Prophet ﷺ warned us about those who deceive others, saying, "Whoever deceives us is not one of us." That's not light language. That's a complete rejection of the idea that deception can ever be just business. Shaytan doesn't mind if you're not drinking, not gambling, not stealing. If you can just make those things look cool, desirable, and harmless, you're still doing his job for him. And if you've ever been in marketing, you know, the best lie is the one that almost feels true. Number 3, entertainment that glorifies sin. Some jobs don't just show haram, they turn it into entertainment. Music videos that dress zina up like romance. Netflix shows where sleeping around is just character development. Stand-up comedy that gets the biggest laughs by mocking Allah's deen. And behind every one of those, a team. Producers, writers, editors, camera crew, makeup artists, social media managers, influencers collaborating for clout. People with job titles that sound creative and harmless, but whose work is literally to make sin look fun, easy, and consequence-free. Here's the thing. Entertainment is powerful. It doesn't lecture you, it just normalizes things. You see something enough times, you stop flinching. Enough Haram scenes, and suddenly your heart's filter is switched off. Enough jokes about the deen, and suddenly the ayah that used to make you tear up doesn't even land anymore. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Whoever calls to misguidance will bear sin equal to those who follow him, without that detracting from their sin in the least." That means, if you create something that makes millions more comfortable with sin, you carry the weight of all of it. Even after you quit, even after you die, the stream keeps going. And this isn't just about the people on camera. It's the editors cutting the scene to make it more spicy. The social media manager picking the most provocative thumbnail. The writer tweaking the script to make it a bit more shameless because that's what sells. Shaytan loves this industry because it's self-replicating. You don't just sin, you plant seeds. Kids grow up with your work in their heads, thinking your version of life is normal. That's generations affected because of just doing my job. And maybe you're thinking, well, I'm not in Hollywood, but TikTok, Instagram, YouTube ? The same rules apply. If your content is getting views because it flirts with haram, you have to ask, who's really benefiting here, you or Shaytan? Number 4, selling what Allah forbids. Some jobs don't just sit near sin, they are the delivery service for it. The bartender pouring alcohol, the cashier ringing up lottery tickets, the Uber Eats driver handing over a 6-pack, the retail worker stacking shelves with pork sausages, and every single one of those transactions, you're part of it. You might not be the one drinking, gambling, or eating it, but you're the link that makes it possible. Allah said it, plain in the Quran. Do not help one another in sin and aggression. Not, don't commit it, don't help it. The Prophet ﷺ was even more direct. He said, Allah cursed alcohol, the one who drinks it, the one who serves it, the one who sells it, the one who buys it, the one who squeezes it, the one for whom it is squeezed, the one who carries it, and the one to whom it is carried. Basically, if your hands are anywhere in the process, you're in. And Shaytan loves these jobs because they're the easiest to excuse. I'm just the cashier. I don't own the shop. I'm just delivering it. It's not mine. I'm just following orders. But look, sin doesn't move through society by itself. It needs runners, carriers, sellers. The whole chain keeps spinning because each person tells themselves they're not really involved. I've met brothers who quit jobs at liquor stores, knowing it meant less income, but they slept better that night than they had in months. I've seen sisters walk away from big commissions in fashion retail because the brand was all about revealing designs. And Allah replaced that risk with something cleaner. The money might come fast, but if it's soaked in haram, it doesn't bless your life, it burns it. Sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once. And when Shaytan sees you trading obedience for a paycheck, he'll make sure that paycheck feels harder and harder to walk away from. Number 5, the modesty destroyer. Some jobs don't just sell clothes, makeup, or aesthetic. They sell the slow death of Haya, the fashion brand where the whole marketing pitch is skin. The modeling agency that says modest wear, but still tells models to pose suggestively. The photography studio that edits until the person barely looks human. And then there's the everyday stuff. The retail worker told to recommend the more revealing dress. The makeup artist who's booked to glam someone up for a Haram event. The social media manager planning posts that get attention because they cross a line. Here's the thing. You don't have to wear it to be part of spreading it. You just have to be in the system that makes shamelessness the standard. And in 2025, that system is everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, billboards, even the ads that pop up before your Islamic lecture on YouTube. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Every religion has a distinct characteristic, and the distinct characteristic of Islam is modesty." And he also said, "If you have no shame, do whatever you wish." Modesty isn't just about clothing, it's about the atmosphere you create. Shaytan loves jobs like this because they reprogram what people think is normal. The more you see, the more you stop noticing. And when you stop noticing, you stop guarding. And when you stop guarding, the heart gets weaker, long before the clothes get shorter. Even if you're not in the industry, you've probably felt this. The awkward moment when you scroll past a revealing post, but your finger hesitates before swiping. The quiet voice in your head that says, "It's just fashion, everyone's posting like this." That's the desensitization creeping in, the same desensitization these industries run on. Some people think, "I'm just earning halal money in a haram environment." But environments shape hearts, and if the work you do chips away at haya, it's chipping away at iman. The two are inseparable. Number 6, the nightlife industry. There's a whole world that wakes up when most people are going to sleep. The neon lights, the bass thumping through the walls, the exclusive events where the dress code is basically, leave your modesty at home. And for some people, that's their workplace. The bouncer checking IDs at the club door, the DJ hyping the crowd, the bartender mixing drinks they wouldn't touch themselves, the event promoter blasting "party tonight," flyers all over WhatsApp groups. Here's the problem. This isn't just being near sin. This is running the door, holding it open and saying, "Come on in." You're not just watching haram happen, you're facilitating it, making sure it runs smoothly. Allah already told us, cooperate in righteousness and piety, but do not cooperate in sin and aggression. This question mark. This is the opposite, and Shaytan loves these jobs because they look like fun work, good vibes, easy tips, free drinks, networking. But if you strip away the music and the lights, it's a machine that runs on zina, alcohol, drugs, and people forgetting Allah completely. I've met brothers who took security jobs at just a lounge, but every night they watch people stumble out drunk. I've met sisters who worked at just an events company, but their entire calendar was weddings, where the deen was drowned out by music and mixed dancing until Fajr. The Prophet ﷺ said, "A person will be with those whom he loves." Spend enough time in these environments, even if you're not participating, and your heart will start syncing with the crowd's beat. You stop flinching, you stop feeling out of place, and that's when the real damage happens. Nightlife work doesn't just pay in cash, it pays in habits, in lowered standards, in a quiet distance from Allah. You don't even notice building, and by the time you do notice, you're in too deep to hear anything but the music. Number 7, power without accountability. Some jobs don't just give you authority, they give you the power to change lives with one decision. Police officers, immigration officials, managers, politicians, even community leaders. And with that kind of power, Shaytan doesn't have to work too hard. All he needs is one whisper. They can't touch you. That's it. That's how bribes start feeling like gifts. How favoritism starts feeling like helping a friend. How cutting someone down starts feeling like just doing my job. The Prophet ﷺ didn't mince words. A ruler who rules over people and dies while he cheats them, Allah will forbid paradise for him. That's not light. That's not, "You'll have to answer for it later." That's straight up. Gent is close to you. I've seen it in real life. The manager who uses their position to humiliate the people under them. The officer who lets a guilty man walk because he slipped him cash. The government worker who delays paperwork for months unless you know someone. Shaytan loves these jobs because the sin feels justified. I've worked hard to be here. They need to respect the chain of command. If I don't take the bribe, someone else will. He'll wrap injustice in pride, greed, and ego until you can't tell the difference between authority and oppression. And the scariest part, the bigger your reach, the bigger the harm. When you abuse power, you're not just hurting one person. You're creating a ripple. Families suffer, communities lose trust, corruption becomes normal, and every single effect is on your scale. The Prophet ﷺ warned, "The most beloved of people to Allah on the Day of Judgment will be the just leader, and the most hated to Allah will be the tyrannical leader." It's not the position that's the problem. It's when the position becomes a throne for your nafs instead of a platform for justice. Because once Shaytan sits in your office chair, the whole building starts to rot. And here's the part that hurts the most. Nowadays, a lot of us don't even look at these things anymore. We don't ask, is this halal? Does this please Allah? Will this follow me into my grave? We only ask, how much does it pay? We've been sold this idea that as long as you're making a living, it's automatically a win. But not every paycheck is a blessing. Some paychecks are a rope, and every month you pull it tighter around your own neck. It's wild, isn't it? Our grandparents, even if they weren't scholars, used to fear haram income like it was fire. They'd rather eat bread and olives for a week than touch a coin they knew came from sin. Now, a lot of us would sign the contract first and Google, "Is this haram?" later, if we Google it at all. And that's exactly what Shaytan wants. He doesn't need you to love sin. He just needs you to love money enough to ignore it, to stop asking questions, to say, it's just a job, until the day you stand before Allah and realize it was never just anything. The Prophet ﷺ said, "A time will come when people will not care about how they get their money, whether it is halal or haram." We are living in that time. And if you're hearing this right now, it's not to shame you. It's to remind you, money can feed your family, but it can also feed the fire. I know leaving a job is scary. I know halal options sometimes pay less. But I also know what Allah promises. And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and provide for him from where he does not expect. That's not just theory, that's a guarantee. So maybe tonight, before you go to bed, just ask yourself one question. If my Rizq was a guest in my home, would it feel clean enough to invite the angels in? If this reached you at the right time, drop in the comments, "Ya Allah, bless me with halal rizq that brings me closer to you." Maybe your dua will inspire someone else to make theirs. Until then, guard your heart, guard your income, and remember, not every door that opens for you is from Allah. Some are opened by hands you don't want to hold. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.